chance to hear it, so let her tell it. People on the streets say Sabrina speaks. Tune into the show, she will let you know. Tell all your friends and family. Real talk is no joke. You get the news straight up from grassroots and concerns. You hear some people gone. So tell all your friends to tune in to
Good evening, Cayman. I'm Sabrina Turner, and welcome to Sabrina Speaks, your daily dose of clarity, truth, and community insights. Every weekday from 5 to 6:30 p.m., we're tackling the issues that affect you, from national headlines to grassroots concerns. Whether you're in traffic or winding down your day, this is your chance to hear it straight and speak your truth. So buckle up, Cayman. We're not holding back.
This is the show. We gotta let you know. Now we got to go.
And now here's Sabrina.
Well, what do you know? Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, good night, everyone, to our friends and family near and far. Welcome, welcome, one and all. It's time for another episode of Sabrina Speaks, Voices of the Islands, conversations for the world, and the podcast where voices rise, stories unfold, and inspiration takes center stage. Yes, I am Sabrina. We're broadcasting from the beautiful Cayman Islands, Monday to Friday, yes, from 5 p.m. local time until 7. And yes, happy Friday. To you, North Carolina love, to Connie Bonnie, who's commenting very early, and to Donnie, OMG, what a lineup you gave me today. Well, it's good to be back with you, and I am definitely looking forward to the weekend for sure. And for all of you, can you imagine just like that? We've made it through the first week of June already. The first 5-day work week, for the month of June. So you can consider 1 week behind us already. And the weekend is officially here for some, but it's definitely calling for a lot more persons. But this is Open Mic here on Sabrina Speaks, the space where your voice leads to conversation. Yes, every Friday. And, the phone lines will be open. So whether you're winding down from the week or just gearing up for the weekend, I am inviting all of you to jump in and share what's on your mind this evening. You can either WhatsApp me or give me a call live, or comment on whatever social media platform you're streaming me live from this evening. The number is 345-936-8255. It's your mic, it's your moment, it's your Friday here on Sabrina Speaks. But please do remember that the views expressed by callers, guests, and online commenters are their own and not those of Bridge Media Limited, its affiliates, the Sabrina Speaks Show, or the host. This program is for general information only and not a substitute for legal, medical, financial, or professional advice. All participants are reminded to speak responsibly and respectfully. Any content that is defamatory, discriminatory, unlawful, or harmful is strictly prohibited and will not be endorsed or tolerated. So by continuing with this stream, you are participating and therefore implies all acceptance of this disclaimer. Yes, please, please, please. Thank you for all of you who are sharing the love, but I still got a reminder, you know how it goes. Make sure you like, follow and share the page so that you don't miss an episode. And for all of my new followers, I see you. Yes, and we appreciate you. Yes, yes, yes. I see you. Aliano's in the house early today too. I wonder what got you here. Well, let's just get straight into it so you can make your plans based on the weather. I leave it up to the forecasters because, boy, oh, yeah, but I wouldn't want their job for nothing in this world, but I love following the weather. Let's see what's in store for the weather forecast for tonight and into tomorrow. Hopefully it'll help you with the planning of your weekend looking ahead. The synopsis is calling for residual moisture lingering across the Northwest Caribbean is expected to persist through this evening, which may bring a few isolated showers tonight as additional moisture from Cuba combines with this. Although due to, a subsistence in the upper levels, the chance of thunderstorms remains low. Now, late on Saturday, an influx of clouds and additional moisture will arrive from the Central Caribbean as a series of troughs interact with a tropical wave as it drifts over the Western Caribbean, therefore increasing the chances of showers thereafter. Now, satellite imagery indicates scattered amounts of high-level clouds with isolated thunderstorms noted north of the Cayman area moving westward. Therefore, the forecast for tonight is calling for partly cloudy skies with cloudy spells and a 30% chance of showers. Temperatures will fall to the low 80s, winds will be easterly 10 to 15 knots, and seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. Now, the forecast for tomorrow is calling for partly cloudy skies, becoming cloudy at times with a 30% chance of showers and possible thunder in the afternoon. Temperatures will rise to the low 90s with a heat index of near 103 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, winds will be east to southeast 10 to 15 knots, and seas will be moderate with wave heights of 3 to 5 feet. There will be a low tide this evening at 6:46, a high tide tomorrow morning at 1:51 a.m. Sun will set this evening at 7 p.m. and sun will rise tomorrow morning at 5:47 a.m. Now, the outlook is calling for continued increase in moisture over the Northwest Caribbean through the weekend and the start of the new week as two additional tropical waves begin to interact with the aforementioned troughs over the Central Caribbean and as they slowly drift towards our area. Because of that, the chances for shower activity will continue to increase into the new week as a result. There you have it. So, you might get away this weekend, but definitely pack an umbrella, keep it close. It's always one of those days where it's not close in the car or something like that, or you just totally forget it. And you're out on the road and you get drenched on. But definitely, you can prepare based on this forecast for earlier into next week as we see where the chances then increase. But you know what? You just follow the Cayman Islands National Weather Service, and they're always posting in the morning, in the evening, and over the weekend. Every now and again, I share it as well when I remember. But you're definitely going to get it Monday through Friday, and definitely once we are live. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead and plan your weekend, whether it's indoor, outdoor, or a combination. Always be prepared. It's that time of the year. And there's a lot of mosquitoes that are out. OMG. Yeah, a lot of mosquitoes are out. So, that usually happens. Yes, when we get some rain. So please don't go too hard on our people. Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it. Please don't. Just don't go too hard on them. We know how it goes. So just be prepared and take some repellent or something. And, that's what it is. We're living in the tropics, huh? So just make sure you're prepared no matter what. Let's take a look at what's making news as I grab some more images here to help me tell the story this evening based on the stories that are making today's news headlines right here on the Sabrina Speaks platform. Starting with local news this evening. The National Weather Service officially lifted its dust alert as conditions improved across the Cayman Islands. After comprehensive testing, the Ministry of Health, Environment and Sustainability, the Public Health Department, and the Department of Environmental Health confirmed that air quality remained safely within the good to moderate range. Now, acting Chief Medical Officer Dr. Mark Pramalal thanked DEH teams for their work, noting that school and community readings showed reassuring indoor air quality. Officials still advise sensitive individuals to limit prolonged outdoor activity and monitor any respiratory systems they may actually have. The Cayman Islands government is marking World Environment Environmental Day with a reminder that climate actions begins with everyday choices. With less than 10% of global plastic ever recycled, officials say protecting Cayman's fragile ecosystems requires both national planning and individual responsibility. Now, government continues work on sustainable, cost-effective waste management strategy, including reuse, recycling, and composting initiatives. Residents, however, are encouraged to make small daily shifts like choosing reusable items and proper waste disposal to keep the islands clean, green, and resilient. And in other local news making today's headlines, we see where the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service is warning truck drivers that unmuffled engine compression brakes, commonly known as Jake brakes, are illegal under the Traffic Act 2026, except in emergencies. Police say that the loud braking creates major disturbances in residential areas and should not be necessary when driving safely and within posted speed limits. Now, officers will be cracking down on offenders, particularly in the Eastern District. Violations carries penalties of up to $2,500 fine or 6 months in prison. And drivers are being urged to help maintain safety and peace in the community. The Cayman Islands Regiment continues to build strong regional ties with Corporal Simon and Lance Corporal Aiton representing Cayman at the Caribbean Disaster Response Training Exercise in Jamaica. The CDRU brings together specially trained teams from across the region to prepare for multi-island disaster scenarios. Within this year's exercise, including participants from the Bahamas, Turks and Caicos, the Cayman Islands, and Jamaica, officials said that the training strengthens interoperability and reinforces lessons learned during Hurricane Melissa. Cayman also deployed alongside RCIPS and hazard management, demonstrating the whole of government's approach that underpins the island's emergency response capabilities. The Ministry of Health and Environment and Sustainability and the Department of Health and Regulatory Services are reviewing a proposed 25% increase to standard health insurance contract premiums that could affect more than 12,000 residents here in the Cayman Islands. The adjustment submitted by CG Britcay and scheduled for July 1st of 2026 is the first proposed SHIC rate change since 2013. Minister Catherine Ebanks-Wilkes says that government is aware of the cost of living pressures facing families and will ensure policyholders' interests remain central. Now, the Health Insurance Commission is now reassessing the insurer's actuarial data and has authority under the regulations to intervene if the proposed rates are deemed excessive or unreasonable. Good evening, caller. You're live. Hello.
Good evening.
I'm in the middle of my news. You gonna hold?
Oh, no. Yeah, hold.
Okay. We turn our attention over to regional news this evening. The Caribbean Tourism Organization reported a strong post-pandemic turnout of tourism ministries and commissioners as Caribbean Week 2026 opened in New York. Amid shifting global markets and geopolitical uncertainty, regional leaders gathered to strengthen economic resilience and protect the Caribbean market share. The week-long summit, themed One Caribbean, Infinite Experiences, concluded with Caribbean American Heritage Month and was hosted by the Intercontinental Times Square. Cayman's Deputy Premier, Honorable Gary Ruddy, was among those in attendance. We go and look over to Barbados, where Barbados Government Information Services says Prime Minister Mia Moore Motley has completed a productive round of engagements in Toronto, Canada, reinforcing the long-standing partnerships between Barbados and Canada. Now, the visit brought together meetings with private sector partners, academic institutions, and bilateral decisions with Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney. Talks focus on practical areas of cooperation, including logistics, film, skills development, professional mobility, innovation, quantum computing, maritime research, insurance, climate resilience, and energy security, aimed at creating new opportunities for both Barbadians and Canadians alike. We see over in Jamaica this afternoon that Jamaica's Prime Minister says the country has officially opened the new Troy Bridge, restoring a vital connection between the parishes of Manchester and Trelawney. Now, the original bridge was built back in 1869, served generations of families, farmers, students, and businesses alike. Now, the new structure now provides safe, reliable access for daily commuters and supporters, continued growth in surrounding communities. The Prime Minister says that today's opening marks an important moment of reconnection and highlights the value of infrastructure that serves the people of Jamaica. We go across the pond this evening. For the first time in the history, the King, as sovereign and Captain General of the Royal Marines, is presenting new colors to 40, 42, 43, and 45 Commando at Windsor Castle. Now, it marks the first occasion that 4 Commando units have received new colors at the same time. Addressing troops and guests, His Majesty noted that it has been 25 years since the late Duke of Edinburgh last carried out this honor, adding that it gives him immense pride and pleasure to do so again today. And out of the U.S. this afternoon, we see where CBS News is reporting that millions of Americans who rely on Social Security could see their monthly benefits reduced by an average of $500 by 2032. Now, this warning comes from a new analysis by the Committee responsible for federal budgets released ahead of the Social Security Administration Annual Trustees Report. That report is expected to update projections on when the program's trust fund may become insolvent, raising renewed concerns about long-term stability for retirees. And as we wrap up the news segment, and just before going into the business roundup, Gulf News is reporting that Google has signed a $920 million a month cold service deal with SpaceX to support a massive NVIDIA GPU cluster. Now, the agreement is expected to significantly strengthen SpaceX's balance sheet ahead of its planned June 12th IPO. Now, analyst says that the partnership positions the rocket company to scale its data and AI capabilities as it prepares for one of the year's most closely watched markets listing. Now, for today's business roundup, global markets closed sharply lower today, led by major tech sell-off in the United States. The Dow fell 695 points and the S&P 500 dropped 2.5%. And the Nasdaq slid more than 4% as investors reacted to stronger than expected jobs data and rising treasury yields. Caribbean exchanges reported light activity and no same-day summaries were published for Jamaica or Trinidad. Here at home, the Cayman Islands Stock Exchange posted no daily trading to report for today, June 5th. That concludes our news segment for today, right here on the Sabrina Speaks platform. And we have an early caller. Good evening, caller. What's on your mind?
Good evening, Sabrina. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
Yeah, I didn't really get long to enjoy that voice yesterday.
Pardon me?
I said I really didn't get long to enjoy that voice yesterday.
Well, yeah, I hope you had an ear full, a mouth full, a belly full, all kind of full just now. You heard the entire news segment.
Yeah.
What are you up to on this Open Mic Friday?
Yeah, I wanted to ask you a question. Like, since it's open mic,
Mm-hmm.
do you think that Cayman is becoming too expensive to have a life?
To have a what?
To have a life.
To have a life.
Mm-hmm. We always talk about the cost of living in terms of survival, right?
Mm-hmm.
We talk about rent, we talk about groceries, we talk about light bill, gas, insurance. But I want to ask something a bit lighter, but
Hmm.
still serious. Is Cayman becoming too expensive to actually enjoy your life?
That
Like
depends. Okay.
after people pay the bills, what's left for dinner,
Hmm.
dating, hobbies, concerts, family outings, or just a Friday night out?
Hmm. You asked me the question, and you always put me as a host or a guest on my own show, which it doesn't matter, but it is open mic, so I'll tolerate you today. I feel, caller, that at the end of the day, your question was, do you feel that is it effective or cost effective enough to have a life? That all depends, in my humble opinion. The quality of life, Connor, you something else, you know. No, I know Connie by now. I just see her emojis, right? The quality of life and the standard of life that we have become accustomed to here in the Cayman Islands is definitely changing. And for those who do not know hard life, those who we could say pretty much, even for the lowest of families here in the Cayman Islands, and I know in the past couple of years that we have descended to even a different low with different things that we have seen changing. That is an honest, because a lot of it is not put into the public's domain because of pride. And we have to respect people's privacy, and we have to still deal with every single human with dignity. But the realities that is facing us, we have the Minister for Finance that is signaling in not so many words. The news around the national debt or budget of this Cayman Islands is actually right now healthcare. And here we are, a part of the news, seeing what's about to unfold. We have an increase in water bill. We have an increase in utilities. The government is doing their part. Houston, things and times are changing. We do not have Social Security. We do not really manufacture anything that can sustain us. And unless we can look at other income revenue measures, and I'm not speaking on behalf of any administration. You asked a question and I'm answering it, hoping that it'll be thought-provoking enough that others can weigh in. But we have spoken here many a times. Whatever is coming down the pipeline is happening globally, even in the great United States of America, even in the United Kingdom, even in Canada. People are tightening their bootstraps. We're seeing where the margin, where inflation, where that $1 is not giving you the distance anymore. You see it every day. You pull up at a fast food joint, even your mom and pop stores, which they were more expensive anyhow because of economies of scale. We spoke about that yesterday. Some of the things that are even impacting and will have an even more profound impact on the region because we do not benefit from economies of scale. So to answer your question, it all depends on what you defined as your quality of life. Maybe some of us have put our basket higher than we can reach it from day one. Maybe some of us have to readjust our sales accordingly because the market was conducive for some of us to get things that we really could not have afforded. And as I'm speaking, I'm listening to myself. What do we do now to make the adjustments in order to survive? Do we pack up house and go? What are you going to divest? If you was really just scraping by here, you don't bring a skill, you don't bring certain qualities and education and qualifications to compete in a bigger market, what are you going to do in another man's country? Isn't it better for you to just fight it through home and make the necessary adjustments? So that's a bigger question, but I don't think we should paint it for one brush. The realities are we need to be more in tune. Listen when the figures are shared on a national budget and do 1 + 1. It can't end up being -2. But if your expectations are still the same and the realities show something else on the books, it is both individual and national, that we speak the truth. And we cut our cloth that we can, you cut your cloth to fit your garment or to fit your size. So that was a mouthful, bellyful, you got enough again. What do you say?
Me, I just wonder what it would take to make Cayman more fun without turning it into a Miami, right? Because we have
But you're
the
looking on
high-end
the fun
brunches.
side, or you're looking at national side? Because your question was more abroad. Because if you're looking at fun, yeah, context matters.
No, but what I say is that we have high-end brunches, and we have the expensive dinners, and we have big concerts, and we have tourist-facing experiences. But what about the average young person who wants to do something that they can actually afford on a Friday night? Like, you see, I hear a lot of young adults, right? When they talk, they always say about how Cayman is boring, right? And their options either become house drinking, loitering, going overseas and spending their money in somebody else's country, or just complaining online. I think that like we need safe spaces to go in, especially for the younger crowd. They need healthier, safer spaces to gather that don't revolve around bars and drinking,
Interesting.
and that kind of thing. But the only thing is, I remember the days when an all-inclusive brunch was $60. You can't get that no more, right? I don't know.
It all
Like,
depends if you want bubbles or not, because
yeah,
unsolicited
but even
thing, I see
non-bubbles is
Rock
already
has a pretty
$90.
good thing.
Anyway,
Alfred, go ahead. What were you saying?
yeah. No, I was saying even without bubbles, a brunch, an all-you-can-eat brunch is $80, $90. So I'm just thinking of the people who are just now coming up, and the young adults, even the middle-aged to older adults just want somewhere to go. That's a bit
But I think we need a
safer.
temperature check as to what type of entertainment we're actually referring to, because I hear your point that you say that it's not surrounding, alcohol or. But what type of entertainment then would you be saying, and then cost effectiveness? Like I said at the beginning, we're at the blue back end period as a small island development state, because we do not have economies of scale, which means it's going to take much more money to operate it versus go through the pass through of persons. And even if, let's say, I want to try and do like a theme park of some sort. I remember when the circus used to come to town, that sort of stuff. How long you think, unless you keep adding stuff, people have a tendency of getting bored very easily. And there's only so much times, even though you expect and you add on, it comes with a cost. We do not have economies of scale, I feel. But to tell you that there may not be other offerings, is it the reason why we probably have so many watering holes, we will refer to them as, is because that's more cheaper than, let's say, running a water park or a theme park or an area where you can invite artisans all the time and you have featured live bands and you have companies that sponsor it and you do certain things. But then I also recall, that's entertainment, caller. I also recall some of the comments that were coming through when I says, look at the vibe that was in the air last week versus this week, because everybody was building up to the hype. And then we looked at what can we do to, not necessarily at the same height, but I get where you're coming from with your question now. Some people want it and some people don't. Where do you strike the balance? And is it going to be public-private partnership that can help that? Again, because of the challenges that we face because of lack of economies of scale. Alfred?
Yeah, I was listening to you.
So it all depends.
I just thought I'd ask the question. That's all.
Mm-hmm. Well, there you go. Hope you got your answer. Or
Thank you.
answers. And anyone who want to weigh in on that, 345-936-8255 is the number to call. If you want to piggyback on that, it's Open Mic Friday, and even in the middle of a news broadcast, we will stop. Thank you so much. All the best a little later.
Thank you.
Sure. Yeah, let's get into this part. As I see your commenters, your comments are coming in. Connie Bonnie's in the house. Yes. North Carolina Love is also here. Carol is early as well. Happy Friday to you, my love. Aliano, good evening, Sabrina and Cayman. Aliano says, who getting blaze up? Yeah, now. Who getting blaze up? Only you. Only you. Dawn is in the house as well. We were talking about the mosquitoes. Oh my goodness. I took the two dogs out earlier this morning, and oof, as big as I is, they almost picked me up. Yeah, they were big. Oh my goodness. You said to get the black mosquito coil. It works. I inside. Don says, okay, you got it. And Aliano was commenting on really Jake break on the hill like Kiss Matite. We don't have any hills. And that's a very valid point, Aliano, because usually you find the use of Jake breaks when you're going downhill. Yeah. Cayman, the only hill we got is the landfill. So what is the use? Do we need them here? Can they be disabled? So yeah, I applaud the police if you catch them actually using these Jake breaks when you really don't need them, as the police is asking. If they're traveling within the speed limit, there's no need for that to be used here in the Cayman Islands because we are not a mountainous terrain jurisdiction. Happy Friday, Harry's in the house. UK love. What's the weather like over there, Harry? Got a little cooler for you? Good evening, Miss Barbara. How are you, my dear? Happy Friday and all the best for you for the weekend. Let's see what Damien Henry has in store for us today. And Damien, I'll read what popped up. Cheers to the weekend. Behind every smile, there's a mother who has cried in silence, feeling the weight of the world on her shoulders, yet she still shows up, still gives, still loves, with a heart that refuses to quit. Her strength isn't loud. It's in the quiet moments when she holds herself together so that others don't fall apart. Her smile isn't the absence of struggle, but the proof that she keeps going anyway. And still she smiles, not because life is gentle, but because love has taught her strength, compassion, survival. That's Sabrina just adding it in. But again, thank you so much. Thank you. And it's profound, Damien. That is a fact. Yes. I caught you something else, I picked up immediately when you comment. You are something else. Alfred hit me. Yes, he hit me like a ton of bricks. What do you say? Lysoon Mike Free. Okay. Free Flow Fridays. That should be the new name for it. Yeah, well, you know what? Let me tell you the truth. Some little birdie, remember when we used to do Wine Down Fridays? That was an idea from yours truly. So we have to do something, and now Free Flow Fridays. And that's why I was able to just do it, but I didn't want to break the news in the middle. The news may be the only thing that I'll read through, because when you get on that regional and stuff, I know for a fact people tune in for the news, especially because they like how I go all over the region and so forth. And I try not to duplicate if I don't have to. But that would be the only thing that I really will actually probably not entertain calls is the news segment, because I know people actually join in early and they tell me straight. They listen, they look out for the news. So that would be the only thing, but you are something else. Free Flow Friday, that's exactly. Harry saying, I think the problem is that government have become scared to intervene and have become totally dependent on private markets. That could be a possibility too. Protecting their seats, maybe. In the UK, we have a double problem where we try to have a state pension, National Health Service, and other things, but also try to have competitive tax rates, which, as anyone with any common sense can tell you, it's bound to fail. And while we all point to the 70s as a disaster, people could buy homes and have a good standard of living. I think you're weighing in onto the question that Alfred asked. Compared to today, where everything is becoming more and more cut off for middle and working class. Yeah, boy, it is definitely, the gap is definitely becoming very obvious. Yeah, I see. Alfred hit you. It's Free Flow Fridays. Should call Friday's show this instead. Yeah, I get it. Thank you so much for that. Free Flow Friday. As of next week, that's what we could call it. So at any point in time, with the exception of the news, exception. I mean, maybe why the government struggles to launch national projects in the Cayman Islands is the lack of any real tax system except import duties. Yeah, and financial services and other revenues like work permits, PR fees, that sort of stuff, immigration revenues, stuff that they can make from licensures as well, and real estate. So yeah, you're quite right. Live happy. Good evening. Happy Friday to you. We must learn to create our own entertainment and stop paying for it and depending on people be creative. Yeah, because not everybody can afford some of the entertainment either. Yeah, I think it's a balance, but it goes down to having the national conversation again. And when you do things like this, you invite a lot of people to weigh in. Have the people in the tourist industry, the tourism industry, I mean, common people who are working, the tour bus operators, those persons who work in the hospitality industry, have all age being represented. You may have the restaurants, you may have the artisans, you may have different people from all, and then you have the seniors represented. You have the religious groups represented. What type of entertainment you feel would meet a balance? And even those in the college as well. What would you look for? And you make sure that you have a broad brush and ask the poignant questions. I may want to be into that hype that we felt last week and then, but I may be into the same hype this weekend, but not as hardcore, if you see what I'm saying. But I still looking forward to go out. That may be just calling a few friends over. Who's going to bring the burgers? Who's going to bring this? Who's going to bring the rack of ribs? Yeah, you don't have to worry about who's going to be around the grill. I love it. But you rightfully say, be creative. Have your friends, everybody chip in. You bring this bottle, that one bring the ice, that brings the solo cups, this one, hey. And then sometimes you may take the same approach and say, we're all going to meet up. I'm sorry, shameless plug, at Cabana. Yeah, you buy one round, I buy one round. Oh, I maybe not be doing anything. They're mocktails, but we're all chipped with the appies or whatever. That's entertainment. The good thing is when Luigi don't have a DJ, you got the pad there and you can be your own DJ. Beautiful. You can pick whatever genre you want. That's the flexibility. You may choose somewhere else that's more upscale. That's totally up to you. You go where your pocket can reach. So I agree with you, Live Happy. You either create your own entertainment or go where you can actually afford it, because it all depends on how deep your pocket is as well. Some people do not have the bandwidth. They're one flat tire, one car replacement, or one license or insurance premium away from having to wait for the next pay cycle before they can even think about even going to watch a movie or going out for a side order of comforters and maybe one margarita or a mocktail. Yeah, some people just don't have the bandwidth. Some people may get sick. They don't have the money to buy or replace or, for their medication. Maybe they're helping out a sibling or a senior person in their household. It all depends. So It's going to take an adjusting to do with this new world that we're living in. And I think a lot of us is still stuck pre-pandemic. Life has never been the same post-pandemic. And with everything else that is happening in the markets, you're seeing what's happening geopolitically with the stocks. We're seeing what's happening, and we're importing all of this crap. Yeah, we just have to adjust and be smart, is my humble opinion. And you know what? Sometimes it may not be too bad staying home. I feel sorry for the business people out there who depend on Friday nights. And this is where then you look at the bigger picture. In order to keep some of those same entertainment businesses alive and open that are Caymanian owned, maybe if you relax some of the legislation so that they can open a little later. I know I'm going to come after me. It's Free Flow Friday. It's Open Mic Friday. What I'm saying is, if we're having a lot of businesses that are closing down, or if we're trying to do things to try and give people a little bit more bandwidth, sometimes legislation may actually help. It may not be the total solution, but maybe some legislations could change. You can create new job opportunities. You could have longer opening hours. But of course, with everything, there comes with risk. There comes pros, there comes cons. We just adjust accordingly, then everybody in trying to meet that medium. Maybe we can have other entertainment too that could be introduced where we have new ideas and innovation come in because our laws then are more relaxed. Right now, for some, based on their opinion, they're too rigid. What's the sense? I can only open one night or 2 nights a week. And then I got the prime time that I could really make some money. I got to close by midnight. See, this is where the conversation respectfully at the table, where all industry, stakeholders, law enforcement officials come as one, and then we look at it and try to be a happy medium. And you'd be surprised possibly what other job opportunities and business opportunities that could come about these things that legislation is probably having a snag at. Live happy. I'm going to go to your Evelyn Champion part, but let me get these community alerts out of the way for a minute. I want to remind you that Water Authority, just know this, Water Authority Cayman is advising customers that the next round of service disconnections, oh my God, and I did not mean to segue into that, but it's real. You're talking about cost of living. Oh, dear Jesus. But look at how I have to go into that. It is real. Anyhow, disconnections will take place on Wednesday, the 10th of June. And the disconnection areas that this will be affected is Red Bay Crew Road, South Sound, Prospect, and Fairbanks Roads. Now, if you're living in these areas and you're not current with your water bill, customers for these communities are encouraged to settle outstanding balances as soon as possible to avoid any interruption. And, at the end of the day, Water Authority is thanking people for their understanding and for their cooperation. So, yeah, just to bring you up to speed with that. You know that June is Alzheimer's and Brain Awareness Month. And here's a list of activities that are happening. Starting on Tuesday the 9th, there's going to be a Seniors Fun Day. Wednesday the 17th of June, there's going to be a Seniors Lunch and Learn at the South Sound Community Center. And it looks as though the Seniors Fun Day is also going to be at the South Sound Community Center. Then the 25th, there's Music for the Brain from 10 to 1. That's going to be taking place at the John Gray High School. Music for the Brain by the John Gray High School Steel String Band. Yes, and lunch will be included. That will also be taking place at the South Sound Community Center. And then we see where Thursday, the 30th of June, all about Alzheimer's awareness. And this is going to be at the Constitutional Hall in Georgetown. And that starts at 7 p.m. So what I will do, I will keep reminding you of these list of events that are happening as we help them promote this and continue to do the awareness for this event. Also, gentle reminder for all of you who may want to attend this Paint and Praise. This is a style brunch experience that is put on by Ebenezer Church. That's the Adventist Youth Ministries Department. And that's going to take place on Sunday, June 14th. that has a fee of $50 for adults and $20 for children. So I'm reminding you. And all of you mango lovers, guess what's coming up on the 4th of July? Mango Fest is going to be here. Yes, and you celebrate the sweet, spicy, and sunny side of summer of 2026. It's Mango Fest. And that's going to be, as I said, from 6 to 6:30 on Saturday, July the 4th. And we see where this is going to be. This is usually widely attended, hugely supported. So yeah, there we go. So there you have it. What I can remember to bring to your awareness here as we continue on this open mic, aka free-flowing Friday here of Sabrina Speaks. Yep. Connie Bonnie shared her orchids for today, and this one bloomed twice, she said. Normally, you don't really find that so close together, right? And Dawn shared a beautiful lineup with me this evening as well. Just let me grab those images in here for you so that we don't lose it. It takes me a minute to just get these all up so that I just go free-flowing. It's not as easy as you think. It takes a few steps before I can actually project them on the screen and share them with you. So just bear with me. We only have a limited number of images that we can actually put up in holding pattern. So yeah, I have to make sure that I got my ducks in a row here. So here we go. Connie shared with us this orchid this evening, and she said that this has bloomed again the second time this year. Normally this doesn't happen, is what I'm understanding. So she's blessed, and that just proves exactly the green thumb that you are, Connie. So yeah, that's beautiful. Whatever to love you're giving that, and the environment obviously is conducive. Yep. And Don is sharing a bunch of stuff with us. Oh my goodness, these are just gorgeous, Donnie. Thank you for sharing these with us this evening. There's another one that she shared. Oh my goodness. Wow. These guys can get really big, Dawn. They can go huge. And they have some stuff on the end as well. Oh my goodness. Look at this one. Look at that. Look at that. That's a desert rose. Am I right? Desert rose, right? Or that's an orchid. Poor me. A trying. And I know this is an orchid. That's an orchid. But thank you. That's 4, I think, that you shared with me. If there's others, then we'll just pull them forward for Monday, my love. But I thank you, my budding content creators, all here in bloom, helping me have content here. And I just want you to know that we appreciate you very, very much. I see where I'm coming to you, my commenters. I want to share in celebration because this hits home for me, close home. I see where Caymanian Times, kudos to Caymanian Times for doing an article on Godfrey's. Yes, Godfrey's Enterprise. And they're actually celebrating 68 years of doing business. Now, anyone knows of me, I've raised up behind Godfrey's, the actual store across from where the police station used to be on Elgin Avenue. That I used to run through the back door and get malted milk, milkshakes, fudge, chocolate cake, chips, patty. They were first a restaurant and then they went into clothes. So I must say, oh my goodness, my friend, the musician who did the article there for Caymanian Times, you did a phenomenal job, by the way. Congratulations on that story and highlighting them. And congratulations to the Godfrey's family for your celebration of 68 years. And there, because of this celebration as well, Godfrey's is having a huge sale all month long, offering up to 30% off items throughout the entire month. And, you know, they started business back in 1958, like I alluded to. I was in 74. So that should tell you how long they have been in business, not necessarily always selling clothes and that sort of stuff, but they started off as a restaurant back in the days. And for those who were before me or a little older than me, can tell you Miss Hazel Fudge, Miss Hyacinth Patties. And yeah, she was Miss Janice, his sister, may her soul rest in peace, was always there. And that is exactly why I share and I feel so much about this store. I remember before it was extended, it was just where the front of the store was pretty much all of it, and they eventually extended it to the back. And I can remember another house being directly behind that. And that was eventually, I guess, purchased, and then they extended the store. So I'm seeing it now as a child and just running through what would have been like a little bush of footpath that they have always allowed for the Sims family. And that goes to show you how families live over the years, because we've always had like a little footpath because we're bordering each other. And when they bought the piece of land directly behind my grandparents' house, they put up the fence. But guess what they did, which I thought was so thoughtful, and I always have respect for them. They gave a gate to the Sims family because they knew for years we all lived as one, as neighbors and that sort of stuff. And to this day, that gate is still there, even though 1GT now has pretty much plopped itself and changed the entire look of that little pad right there. But yeah, congratulations to Godfrey's Enterprise. And I'm hoping that you all go down there and say congratulations. Tell them you heard it on the Sabrina Speaks. And of course, Cayman Times did the story for them. Stuart Wilson. Yeah, Stuart did a phenomenal job writing that article. So I got to big up Stuart Wilson, for doing a good job. I don't know if you know the stories, Stuart, but I didn't mean to take away at all from your article. Hence, I am promoting and highlighting you for doing a phenomenal job. But when you can speak from experience as a child running in and out of that shop, and even my kids have fond memories, my cousins, my aunts, who are now the seniors. Oh God, they could kill me. My aunts are the seniors now in the area. They can remember some very funny stories, and I'll share one with you. Denver not Denver, Jen and them may actually remember the story. My aunt reminisced that one day they were going to church because we raised up as Adventists, and they were going through the back of the store, going up the road to Adventist Church. Anyone knows the terrain right there. And they were playing outside. And I don't know, one of my aunts was challenged to jump over, like it was either a well, I stand to be corrected, or an open septic. I stand to be corrected. Whatever it is, this pit was open and all dressed up in the pretty frill dress and ready to go, boy. And the Godfrey's children challenged my aunt, and she jumped, but she didn't get to the other side. Yeah. So they share these stories and all that sort of stuff. And it's amazing, that childhood, but you can see the joy in their face when they reminisce about all of these days. And just thinking back now, looking at what the area has become and looking back now at how their childhood was. And I can almost vividly see what they were talking about, being a child of 74 and seeing those right there. So it is amazing. It is amazing to just sit down and listen to them. I often go to my aunt's, my grandmother's house, and I like to sit down and just provoke them. Like I'll drop a couple names and make them bring up stories and that sort of stuff. And that's nostalgic for me, but it also brings them back. And it's amazing to see the joy on their face. So again, this is why I had to highlight this 68th years of celebration for Godfrey's Enterprise, because that is a business that ties in that little area there of Elgin Avenue, and all the police who knows them there as well. They used to come across and get their lunch, their sandwiches. Back in the day, Glass House, many people used to come there and get their fudge and their grilled cheese sandwiches and stuff. So I know many people can remember those who, you got to be 3, 4, 5 really to understand what I'm talking about. But yes, I could not go through today without going back in time and just bringing, highlight that as well and share in the celebration. Let's get back to the comments, because I see you guys are coming in. Evelyn Champion King's parents. Evelyn Champion King's parents host talent shows for all the children in the neighborhood. And that's how she got her break in the music industry. Stop depending on people. Think. You see? Well, yeah. look, live happy. Maybe you're the person to get them starting to think. I don't know. We just, my thing is here, live happy. Don't stop. Don't stop. Keep commenting, keep giving ideas. Maybe somebody will just do it. Yeah. Sitroy says, High Rock Drive is the worst for truck drivers. Oh, okay. All right. But does it warrant the Jake breaks? Does it warrant that on like going through Savannah, going through Town, where we know the roads are really narrow? And does it warrant it? To me, when they do that, it's because they're really, really probably coming out of a 40-mile-hour zone, going into a 30-mile-hour zone, or coming out of a 50 straight into a 25 or a 30. And then they're having to really slow down really quickly. And then they kick that in. I mean, I don't drive these trucks. I don't know. But the noise is annoying. I've heard them in Jamaica, but I can understand, but you hear it in the distance. But to me, it just don't make any sense here. But I'm not a truck driver, so please correct me if I'm wrong. Live happy, say, no work-life balance. It's all about work, no living. Well, even you could enjoy it, to live happy. A lot of Caymanians are foreign workers, are suffering from high cortisol. We have turned our home into a playground for tourists while we watch. Live happy. We got how to decide what we want to do. We could either be a destination and we provide entertainment that also now you're hearing your very own locals live happy, saying we need entertainment. We're at the crossroads to plan tomorrow. Get everybody else to weigh in on that. I can only think of other jurisdictions. It's not a party all the time, but the locals that come out in some of our brothers and sisters' jurisdiction, they don't even have to leave their country. Age is not a barrier when you see them with their line dancing. There's a gospel concert, there's a gospel fest, and I mean young and old and in between are out in this country. And then you have preparing for another huge event. And I don't see them complaining, and everybody is happy. You got your jerk vendors, you got your artisans, you got your people with their arts and crafts, you got your caterers out there as well. But the big takeaway that I'm observing is that everyone can appreciate it. Visitors, residents alike. And like I said to another person who commented after one of the episodes, there's nothing wrong if you're working in the industry that you take vacation as well. Life goes on. But it shouldn't stop people who come in the off season. You have some couples and families who have no children. They choose not to visit, example, theme parks during this time of the year. Why? Because it is full of families and school groups and fam trips, right? They choose to go in what would be deemed the off season when school is back in session. It's the similar principle when it comes to looking at diversifying entertainment in the industry, not only catering for tourists. I have gone to many so-called tourist hotspots here in the Cayman Islands, and I have seen my very own locals enjoying it. Yeah, they're enjoying it as well. So I think we are boxing ourselves in as locals. We have almost imprisoned ourselves to say, I'm not going to go there because that's only for tourists. Who tell you that? Who tell you that? And I think we just need to open up just a little bit wider and appreciate our very own home a little bit more. When was the last time our locals really even went to the turtle farm and support that? Or because it's dubbed as a tourist attraction, you don't go. Or let's say Crystal Caves. Or let's say the caves in Town. Or you went and you did the tour at Pedro to reminisce about what happened, how we got here, are simple. You've heard me highlight all of the events and the showcase and the featured displays at the museum. When last have we become tourists in our own home? When last have we actually gone to hell? Well, yeah, the tourist site hell. You see what I'm saying? Ain't nothing wrong. I've known my family just say this Saturday we're gonna go and take the water taxi and we're gonna go to Northside. They've done it and they have enjoyed it. It's a family event. It ain't nothing wrong. You know how good those operators feel when they see their own locals, because we're supporting our very own locals in the industry. So I think sometimes we're imprisoning ourselves unnecessarily, and there's a lot more to be made, but every voice and opinion matters. That by no means live happy, diluting your opinion. But I'm saying at the end of the day, we really need to revisit it, to be honest. And that time is coming. They're either going to do it illegal, or we can do a national discussion and have everybody participate, and we reach a good place. Aliano is saying we have beaches, but with a nation of how many people can see events getting us out there more often? We have beaches, but with a nation, how many people can we see events getting us out there? It doesn't only have to be events like that, if you see what I'm saying. We could have a huge barbecue cook-off. We could remember back in the day when we used to have, hold on, they're not having Taste of Cayman? Okay, remember you used to do chili cook-off. We used to have family fair day. We used to have, help me with some other events that just died out. We could have so much other things. Public-private partnerships. Where's the appetite? Where's the ideas? You guys said it right here. Think. We could have talent shows. Showcase talents. There's so much talent here. It could be, we see what happens in the Festival of Arts. After that season in the school, and people only look at that as a school thing. Why don't we do that as a national outdoor type thing? I don't know. Carafesta is coming up. It looks as though if there's not a labeled event, like we can't do little things to keep who we are at center and forefront at different times. Maybe I got it wrong. Please, I stand to be corrected. But the Ministry of Culture, Youth, Sports and Culture and Heritage, they're trying. I must say they are trying. But it needs everybody to help us as well. I can see Harry is angry as you know what. Our weather has been beautiful. Oh my God. Poor you, Harry. Poor you. Oh my God. Aliana is saying, not hills, my lady. It's a hit list. A hit list. Oh, okay. Not hills, my lady. A hit list. Gotcha. Poor me. Green as grass. Damien Henry is saying, laugh out loud. Nice ending. I will leave that section open to the imagination. Oh, you see, I tried my best though. I tried my best to fill in the gaps. God knows. Harry is saying, I meant like a standard normal tax system, like a corporate income tax or personal income tax or value added tax. Okay. I don't know. We're allergic to that word here, even though we're indirectly paying it. But that, I don't know. I can tell you this much: without proper education, without us probably being in a real bad spot, that word has to be used as TAX. You could get one elected person to say it because they just lost their seat. Yeah, they just lost their seat. But they will try other revenue measures in other ways instead of having to impose that on the people, Harry. It's just not a conversation any current elected person, I'm quite sure, will want to act. And worse, in this climate, you see what's happening right now. Harry, you got to be here to understand the people. I mean, for example, our prisons are privatized. I mean, really, prisons. It's complete insanity. Look at what happened at HMP Birmingham. Yeah, that too. Well, there was a big report once upon a time, without trying to get political, that it was suggested that governments should divest certain things that were losing money. And one of them was our radio station. One of them was the turtle farm, if my memory serves me well. And one of them was even International Airlines. And let me tell you something, Harry, you may not know our people, but to this day, the company that wrote that report and recommended those suggestions, it ain't sitting well. So, I think we have to look at this a total different way, but I get what you're saying. Privatizing certain things or private-public partnerships. That's something that we're not accustomed here. We're accustomed culture where certain things are owned because we protect it, and we feel that certain things the people must have 100% stake into. But if it's losing money, how long do you hold on to it for? Or do we do what we have to do in order to subsidize because it is who we are as Caymanian? Like I said, there were a lot of recommendations that were made to a government many administrations ago, maybe not that long, but it did not. And to this day, those recommendations surface, and it's still not palated. And I must agree with you, a lot of them are hard to swallow. And personally, I didn't agree. But looking at the numbers, we either need to look at things a little differently or not divest, but consider possibly sharing the load for the common good of continuity. I don't know. Live Happy is saying the next best entertainment is rest. I do not want to be tired and drunk on the weekend. You don't have to. You can go and we can have lone mocktails. And we get you home early, so you still get your rest. There's always a workaround, Live Happy. What's wrong with you? Aliano is saying there are too many boats sitting around idle. These boats goes out weeks unused, and would be nice to get these boys, and I do mean boys, to dock, boys on deck and out on the ocean, and not smoking, drinking, and acting the fool all on these bikes. I see what you're saying. So, Aliano, I kind of want to lean into the fact that you're saying if we get other things, or maybe extended certain hours, or maybe have other uses for some of these tour boat operators, I don't know, maybe we could, like you said, fill the gap and give these young men and possibly women some jobs. But yeah, thank you for actually highlighting that, that there are a lot of boats sitting around idle, and these boats goes weeks unused. It would be nice to get these boys, and I do mean boys, on deck and out on the ocean, and not smoking, drinking, and acting the fool on these bikes. Another thing too, they were asking for a place that you could actually do racing, and I'm not so sure. I had heard some chatter when I'm out and about that was going to come together. What happened to that for someone in the auto cross industry? If you know whatever happened to that, did that come about? I don't know. I watch Daytona. I like to watch the motorcycle racings as well. But whatever happened to that idea here for home? Was it ever resurrected? Alfred says, Sabrina, my great grandparents created their own. Sabrina, my great grandparents created their own entertainment. 18 children later, I can't afford that type of entertainment. It's called buy it up, take the pill. Moving right along. It is not 10 o'clock. Alfred Real, I think it is my great grandmother's duster that You're an idiot. Oh my goodness. Look here, Alfred, real. Leave me alone here. No wonder. Carter says today is Free Flowing Friday. Boy, you can talk foolishness. Harry, moving right along. Oh my goodness. Water disconnection will save on bill, not because people want to, but because they can't use it. Well, that too. But the good thing is we got some really considerate people here, Harry. I don't know how it is in the UK, but we're so closely knitted that if it's really an oversight or somebody with a elderly person or a needy person in the home, sometimes with a call and an extension, there are provisions that can be made and services are entertained for a short period of time. So the mere fact that we're going about and talking about disconnections, normally that's after, that's going into the second month, so it wouldn't go into the third month. So I would say that's one good thing that we have about our people. I have assisted many back in the day in my political role. And I must say that the staff really do help. CUC is number one at it. I could be honest with you. CUC has had different plans in place to assist. And you know, Sheem and my game, I can tell you, I have used it as an elected person. I asked for a deferral. Oh yeah, I've had to do it because I was busy keeping other people's lights on, forgot mine. And I wasn't ashamed to call CUC and say, can I get, I think it's the deferral or something, whatever it is, a plan, whatever it is. I used it. And you know, Sheem and my game, I didn't even know it existed until I got elected. Good evening, caller. You're live on Sabrina Speaks. What's on your mind?
Good evening, Alfred. This to you. My grandmother had 16. My grandmother had 16, and in those days there wasn't no TV to watch.
Oh, well, I think that's what he's saying. That's what he said. That's exactly what he's saying. That they need other entertainment.
Was a fish pot and ground. Had a roll up a paddle dinner and get that cassava and banana and plantain and whatever. Boil up. So that was the entertainment. 16.
Oh my
My
goodness.
grandmother was that 10 girls and 6 boys and everything they had know. But
oh my goodness.
Because I tell them when they tell me that, because when my husband, I said, but he had 10 children. I tell him, I said, well, you might be can produce 10, but I can tell you what one man whom used to say, you'll have look yourself another victim, because I know it wouldn't be me. It wouldn't be by me. Say, one keep me barefoot and pregnant or washed up with a washboard. I say, yeah, like hell, you preach. I say, what Rob used to say, you might be could produce 10, but it's not going to be by this nigga. You'll have you look yourself another victim, because I wanted 2. And that's what I ended up with. And I wanted double shot. I wanted twin one time. And I wanted a boy and a girl, but you can never get things like that. What you like, but I said, who? Not me. And then when I heard that my mother was from the sibling of 16, I said, Grandpa Joe never had time to put his pants on.
Okay.
So I'll put down my piece to you. Those days it wasn't no TV, it was fish pot and ground.
And obviously
16.
And I guess she was wearing them dusters, them house dress.
No, she maybe not used to keep on no pants. Dress duster, no pants. Yeah, and then the pants come in. Like what Suda telephone woman used to tell, one man used to tell his wife, he used to call the name and say that he would say, Susan, come here and get this med. And she said, I can do that.
It is Free Flowing Friday. Thank you for sharing that with us this evening. Oh, Alfred, you see the foolishness you got to start on here, and it's not 10, it's just 6:14. You are in trouble. Well, what do you think is real love and lies at 10 o'clock on Friday? For God's sake, why you will bring Michelle but into reminisce about those days, because she definitely has a belly full for you. Damien says some bars and restaurants could offer discounts for locals. Yeah, and you just that would be interesting. I think some places they actually do local rates, or that is only within the hotels. That's probably residence rate for rooms, but the restaurants you probably pay the regular price. Yeah, that's a difference. So yeah, retract that. Maybe that could probably do it. Andrew Campbell's, good evening. Happy Friday. What's up? You were out making that money, honey? Connie's saying, nice. Oh, and you're back. Harry is back, and I did respond to you there. You're going to have to slide back a little later. Andrew is saying, congratulations to Godfrey's on their 68th anniversary. Cayman Islands Heritage, KY. Yes, you're quite right. That's my stomping ground, boy. He said, I remember when Solly Arabus used to have his Friday evening get together with friends in Georgetown with his drums. Those were the days. I only remember hearing about them, but I guess I was too young to actually can say, well, okay, I know what you're talking about, but I've heard about them. And yeah, interesting. I see how it brings you back. Andrew is saying Cayman had plenty of dances, local bands playing all over. Remember Treasure Island Resort? Oh, yes, I do. Local and Nashville singers playing at the resorts, and locals used to go out more. Pious Puffin nights, cruises on Friday evening. I don't know what that one is though. What that is? What is that one? I don't know what that one is. Maybe I'm too young. I don't know. Who remember the Kontiki? Anybody remembers the Kontiki? And they used to have these boat cruises. Yeah, remember? Anybody can remember the Kontiki? Yeah. Tartarian, true. Many Caymanians can't dive or never have been diving. Maybe this is the time to teach them. That could be something, Tartarian. And, you know, I snorkeled. I actually used to enjoy it. I used to go Eden Rock very often. And, but you know, it's true, unless you're a fisher out in the fishing industry, you don't really have a lot of locals that go diving. Now, my brothers, only one, they free dive, and I know a lot of immediate friends, they can go down free dive. Oh gosh, really deep. But my brother, he's a fisherman, and let me tell you something, some depths that I see him go. Ooh. And he did one image where it was like he was, I don't know how much feet down, and he took a picture down there and looking up, and you could just see the boat. And he made the mistake to send me that image. I said, please tell me you're back on land. I said, I don't want to know if this is the foolishness you're going out there to do, but it's where he's at peace. I said, I don't want to see those images. And if you're ever going out fishing, because I know you're going to be doing stuff like this, or you're going to be going that deep, just let me know when you come back. I don't want to know when you're going. Just let me know when you're back, because I stress. Oh my goodness. The duster, Alfred, Connie's asking. Yes, he had to go back there. Good to have you back, my love. Dorothy, Miss Dorothy is in the house. Happy Friday to you, my dear. Alfred came back with an answer. Palmer, Connie, Lynn, yes, the duster. Don't bother with Victoria's Secret. Why would you buy some fancy lingerie? I'm trying to pronounce it like you. I did not misread that. He has a way of saying it. Anyhow, why buy some fancy lingerie for him? Where you gonna tie it down and wrap it around when you could do the pre-work for him and he can just remove the duster? Okay, we're moving right along. Ladies, get yourselves a duster. Connie is saying Friday nights. Oh my goodness, Connie, you know, you are entertaining him with his foolishness this evening, and he really has no voice because of his allergies and all this sort of stuff. Oh my God. Andrew saying boat cruises from Georgetown Dock, and Jim Daly from the US. Okay, so I know I'm not going crazy. Yeah. They had a number of them that used to go out. So this thing with boat cruises where they're using some of these other boats. Back in the day, we really had a party boat called the Kontiki. And I remember when that first started, that used to almost sell out. But let's be real. Remember there was a hotel too that used to, oh my God, Friday night, that used to rock by the tanks, the pink building on South Church Street, Indies Suites? No, that's not the name. Down from Sunset House. pink Caymanian style, just by the tanks. Boy, when they got started or when they first opened, that was the place to be on the weekends, especially a Friday evenings. And you never heard any foolishness going on and all that sort of stuff. I don't remember the name of the resort, but yeah, those were the days. But here we go again. Things and times have changed. Now you step on somebody's shoe accidentally or you bump into them, it's a fight. You can say we were more tolerant back then versus this generation now. And this is why it is almost scary. But I guess it's the age group. And yeah, I don't know. But it is that resort on, I don't know if it's still used as a hotel nowadays. I think things were always in the parking lot. But South Sound, going to South Sound, you pass Sunset House, and it's by the Jackson Point Terminal. Those Cayman style pink. They're in between the Rubis and I think the Jackson Point. I could be getting this wrong, but yeah, that I know for a fact used to draw a crowd. Oh my goodness. Even Sunset House back in the day used to draw a crowd in the evenings where you could have mature people just going. Yeah, and you would have families as well. Chance, don't do that. Chance is in the house today, and he's fighting on a basket that I have here by my foot. Tartarian is saying, yes, I remember the Contiki, the best party boat Cayman ever had. It ended up in Mexico because of a hurricane. Was that Hurricane Gilbert? I think it was Gilbert, right? One of them. Yes, but you're quite right, Tartarian. Yeah. So I'm not going crazy. Yes, I remember the Contiki, the best party boat Cayman ever had, and it ended up in Mexico because of a hurricane. Now, some people might have been happy it ended up in Mexico, and others are like what we're doing, only reminiscing right now and wish those days could come back where you could have, clean fun. People just go out and just have a blast in a boat like that. Wow, this is taking us real back. You, Diane, you just pull out this blooming Alfred. Aliano says, I free dive. Really? You free dive also? Not all the time. The Hennessy has made me a bit out of shape, but diving is an experience many people need to do once in their life. I only snorkel. I'm going to be very honest with you. I wanted to go down into the submarine, Atlantis. And I said, wanted to go. Oh, yeah, I was ready, boy. I had this phobia, and I could have shared this with you. I got my tickets, getting ready, boy, to go on the boat. And then all of a sudden, what if you have to use the bathroom? Oh my God. And I got myself into a panic attack. By the time I got on that boat, there was blobs of sweat. I was having to, where you put yourself in this tizzy? Till the operator says he saw it on my face. He didn't know what was going through my mind, but I guess they're trained to read these things. Your girl ain't get on that Atlantis submarine to this day. Okay. I just have this phobia that, knowing me, get down there and there's an emergency and I got to use the bathroom. But I've gone multiple times on this semi-submersible, the Nautilus. If it's still in operation, I don't know if it is. And that was fine because guess what? I know I can come up on the top, even when you're enjoying the views. So for me, the free diving thing and all that, putting it into context, that's as close as I will ever get to diving by going in a submarine. And it has to be a semi-submersible because I cannot go into Atlantis. It's just this phobia that I have. I'm sorry. Contiki was the best blue parrot. See, I'm bringing you even back to the day, Denver. Aliana said, could have never dived deep, but one day found myself really out by the Contiki on the bottom, and it was a thing to behold. Wow, good for you. Alfred is saying, but ladies, if you really want to excite your man, the duster outfit isn't complete unless you have the... Let me start over. But ladies, if you really want to excite your man, the duster outfit isn't complete unless you have the curlers, the flat cotton house slippers, and the little chain that attaches to your glasses. Your face lipstick is optional. Who even use them kind of curlers anymore? Alfred. Really? You got some partners that don't even want their significant others, their spouse, their partners to put on a silk cap. Really? You think they're going to tolerate curlers? I'm not even taking you on this whole Friday. You hear me? Denver says, just down from Sunset House. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, right? Denver, that used to be the hot spot back in the day. I don't remember the name. Harry said, until the people don't want it or you change so the way it doesn't affect government finances much. Ignore that. Okay. Oh, sorry. You see, I'm reading them one at a time so that you don't say I'm pick choosing, refusing what I'm read. I'm reading them as they come in because it's Free Flow Friday. Why not? You guys keep me all entertained. Andrew Campbell says, Michael Alberger used to have parties at his house, Crew Road, Rockets, Racket Club. Then people ended up jamming. Now, Andrew, you gone way back, my friend. Yeah, Racket Club. And oh my goodness, Jam and Smokehouse. I can taste their brown stew chicken right now. Oh my goodness. Yeah, man, Andrew, you're going way back. But yeah, you're quite right. I've never been to Rockets. I've only heard about Rockets. Is that After Hours? May his soul rest in peace. Racket Club, I maybe have attended one event there. Remember when Yellow Man first came to Cayman? Well, if that was his first and only time, I stand to be corrected. Yellow Man performed at Racket Club. And I remember that back in the day. And that was a huge turnout when Yellow Man was back in his day, right down from where I raised up. Yeah, but Jam and Smokehouse, oh my goodness, their food was delicious. And you notice what happened with that, Andrew? Even though Jam and Smokehouse, I think the property got sold, right? And they relocated temporarily somewhere out on the waterfront. The food just did not taste the same after it moved from that location. And then eventually it just died out. There was just something about the food at Jammin'. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Denver says, yes, Hurricane Gilbert, my friend from Jamaica, owned the business. Hurricane Gilbert, my friend from Jamaica, owned the business. Okay, gotcha. That's what took it down there to Mexico. That's the Contiki he's referring to. Who went to Galleon Beach on Wednesday nights? Oh, that would be considered industry nights. Would that have been called industry nights? Denver boy, you look like you were a real old party animal too, you know. Back in the day. Now, if you have to link back Galleon Beach, what Holiday Inn was original Holiday Inn, I can see the bar now and the bridge going over the pool. Beautiful turquoise type thing, white with the thatch or palm huts thing. It was just beautiful behind there. If you could think about the feeling that you got either between Royal Palms, when Royal Palms were Royal Palms, Holiday Inn, back to Holiday Inn, best brunch ever. Would you say that Peppers is the closest thing to that feeling right now when it comes to local music? I'm just asking your opinion because as a young person back in the day and used to go out, I remember Royal Palms and Holiday Inn used to draw a crowd all the time. And that is where you could have go to these places and you could see a lot of locals hanging out there. And they were a part of all of it. And I mean, you had Denver, I think you could agree with me. You had a lot more locals out mingling with tourists. And I don't think that you heard tourists saying, we came here and we didn't hear. We didn't meet a local. Back in those days, we were out. Remember when Smile Orange came and performed at Royal Palms? I remember that. I couldn't go because it was, age restriction. But yeah, that is how far back we can go here this evening. Just go before you go. Me, I ain't going, Connie Bonnie. Thank you, though. Tartarian is saying it was shaped like a house with a thatch roof. For those new to Cayman and don't know about it, you see? Why, yes, you're quite right. Thanks for that, Tartarian. You died with laughter. Role play. Your grandmother? Oh, Jesus. Here we go. Go right ahead.
Listen, I got listen, okay? But sorry. People need to stop acting like a woman in a house duster and the hair curlers and the glasses on the little chain isn't a full-blown romantic institution, okay?
Okay.
That look has built families, that has paid mortgages, and that has kept whole bloodlines going. You think grandfather came home from work and saw Granny in the floral duster with the roller set tight and said, not tonight. Oh man, he saw those glasses hanging on that chain and he knew two things. She could read the church bulletin and she could read him for filth. All right? That duster says comfort. The curler say preparation and the glasses chain say, I know where everything is.
Oh my goodness.
Now that is power. That is mystery, Sabrina.
Oh my God.
Right? That is a domestic elegance. Now what with all the lingerie? So yes, defend the duster. All right? Respect the duster. Many of us are only here because some man saw that quilted house coat coming down the hallway and said, yeah, that's mine.
Oh my goodness. Well, I gotta have pull that one soon then.
But
Oh my goodness. What is your topic tonight? Don't hang up yet. What's your topic tonight?
I don't know if I can handle a topic tonight with my voice. I might
Well,
postpone the show
you
until
would have
next week.
reserved it if he wasn't provoking me.
No, I can only do short bursts, not a whole hour tonight.
Short distance. You a bold mood tonight.
Mhm.
Well, if you're not able to produce tonight, you definitely gave us a touch of some of the conversations. I hope that you can get on your show, or maybe one of these nights you can get me and Michelle on. Boy, we can go there for you. I mean,
No,
wherever
I don't
reserved
want-
because
I
I
don't-
respect
no.
my space.
I want LaQuisha.
You
That's what
want
I want.
LaQuisha? Oh, okay.
I want LaQuisha on the show.
We got how to build that
Yeah.
one up. We got to build that momentum up
Alright.
and start doing the promo
Alright.
like a week
Good.
and a half before. And
Michelle
tell Connie,
can come on too. Michelle is welcome anytime as a guest on that show.
all right.
Alright. All right.
All
So
right.
respect
All
that
right.
duster.
Definitely.
Okay,
We got
alright.
respect that in the lingerie. What? Lingerie?
Them lingeries. Them lingerie. I don't know how you what you say lingerie.
Lingerie. It's a lingerie.
lingerie. Lingerie.
It's lingeries.
Okay.
Okay. Not a
All
problem.
right, sweet.
All right, my dear.
Learn English. All right.
I want you to go into Victoria's Secrets and say I want the best lingerie you got. I'm quite sure. I'm quite sure those staff is said, huh? Anyhow, hope you feel better. Oh my
on.
goodness.
Bye.
Yes. Bye. Tartarian is saying it's called the Blue Parrot in South Sound. Okay, that's what I built. Back in it. That not open, isn't it? That closed down, did it? Boy, that used to draw a crowd. Connie Lynn, you see? Connie gets the assignment. Oh, yes, she does. Denver, I told you the name was Blue Parrot. Okay, yeah. Okay, thank you. Sometime the Wi-Fi don't connect and the Starlink is still searching. Andrew says, what are the plans for Scranton Park? When is the official opening? I'm quite sure I can send this message on to the representative for Georgetown Central. And maybe if he's aware, he could probably give us an update. I don't know. Or remember now, he's not in cabinet anymore and it has to be funded. And the project now, I think that falls under Minister J. So yeah, but maybe I can ask Mr. MP Brian if he could provide us with an update, or if somebody's here and he wants to give us a quick call to give us an update, maybe you can get that live this evening. We don't know. Harry is saying, what happened in TCI with the Constitution suspended and the governor being given effective sole rule power? Big news in the Cayman Islands. Oh yes, it was huge. And some of us even panicked. And there were certain things at one point in time that people always refer to that. So we've even had some people on our public other stations based on the topics at hand, is that they were praying that at some point that could come and happen here, when people were saying, no, why would you want that? We're quite capable of self-governing, but we'll never get to that. So yeah, but it did answer. Yes, it did make big news. Don Hyde says, Lammy and John used to play it, sure, if it was Coconut Harbor. That way it is now, unless it changed names. Yeah, so I wasn't wrong. Coconut Harbor. Yeah, okay. And then it may have changed to Blue Parrot. But there was a restaurant further in South Sound that was called what? What was that restaurant in South Sound just before San Sebastian on the seaside? What was that restaurant out there on the sea? I think there's a Black Coral store or something in the vicinity that's owned by the family there. That's after you pass Miss Lass's and going, coming east. What was that? What was that? Crow's Nest? Was that Crow's Nest? See, I'm not as bad. But yeah, Harry's saying, I've always found it interesting how that was phrased when the governor announced it on the 14th of August, 2009. He literally went on a 30-second divergence about how the UK governed. You know how it is. It's called a word salad. Was not taking over the government of Turks and Caicos Islands, and that locals would continue to run public service and civil service. Because he knew probably that other BOTCs would be saying, yeah, so when are you going to come here for us? But some people would agree that it was justified. Some people would have actually said it wasn't. Then you had others to say, well, that's a warning to let you know how much power we got. Don't behave yourself and you see what we're capable of. Denver saying party would stay at Papagalos Drive to Rum Point in the morning, change my clothes and go to work. See you, brute. You know what it is to party. You see? Bob Marley was supposed to play at Royal Palms, but immigration didn't want him on the island because of his dreadlocks. Yes, I remember that. Too young to remember though. To have been able, but I'm hearing the stories. Oh wow. Oh my goodness. Yes, that's it, Johnny. Thanks. Barbara G says, one simple way to liven up the town areas would be to have stores open at 10 to maybe 7. I would think you would see a big change in habits as there would be no traffic and much to see. Happy hours would really be happy, as locals would most definitely be out there socializing and shopping. Think about it. No heat and meeting up, maybe a few places could look into using local artists. You're quite right. You know, it's true, staggering the opening hours for the business, because really and truly, Central Georgetown became a place for banking, for corporate. And really, it died at 5. So now that you have more businesses now in town, maybe that is a beautiful idea, Miss Barbara G. You're making the town center now into a more pedestrianized. You're having spaces where there are no vehicular traffic. You know, you're onto something there. And I hope that those with the revitalization of Georgetown, the Minister for Culture and Heritage, the Ministry for Financial Services could possibly meet with the business places there as well and see if you could, you know, agitate for other businesses to do maybe incentives that could actually do that. You're quite right. Stagger your opening hours. And maybe if it's a restaurant or something like we got coffee shops now, but like you said, it is a ghost town. It is a ghost town. And maybe people may come out more because it is cooler. You're quite right. And you may see more activity in the heart center of Georgetown. It only takes a step, a start. And then people would get onto it, because for years now, where everyone know town closes at 5, you don't even think about it. You head to the 7 Mile Corridor, or you're heading east, anything that's close to home. But if we bring more life back into the capital, and it's a balance, people will still have a choice of where they want to go, Miss Barbara. I think you're quite right. I think you will see a change in behavior. We got one GT there now that is housing long-term residents. You have some of the businesses and buildings out town that has also been converted to mixed residential and commercial. I think you'd be surprised the appetite that is right there in the center of Georgetown, but it just takes a group of people, maybe a national push, get the businesses together as well, and see how you could probably put that together. Department of Commerce and Investment, I don't know who, but yeah, it's a good idea. Let's see, maybe there's a business association that could come together, all the business owners that own businesses in town or in the periphery, could all come together and you liven it all up. You could have live bands, maybe 2 different genres or one live band and maybe a DJ or something. I don't know. But yeah, maybe we can start subsidizing our local bands as well. Because some of the things that they were saying is that they were not being paid properly, or that, they couldn't make a living out of it. And maybe our local bands and our artists could actually generate some income there. I love live music. I love bands. I love a live band. I just love going out and sitting down and just enjoying good company and listening to live music. It's the same way. Well, the DJ, yeah, sometimes, but there's just something unique with a live band. It's just something special about it. CE Banks, good evening to you, my dear. Welcome to Open Mic Friday, free flow as of next week, Friday, as we call it here. Crow's Nest, that was the name of the restaurant. That used to be a big thing too back in the day, right? Mm-hmm. Coconut Harbor, Blue Bar Blue Parrot. Oh, the bar was named Blue Parrot, but the resort was named Coconut Harbor. How much messages after and the Wi-Fi connect? There we got it, Denver. Oh yeah, I'm not even feeling no way about it this evening, and I'm drinking water. So you can't blame it on what I'm drinking. Yeah, so how much messages after? We got it. The facility, the resort was named Coconut Harbor, and the bar was called the Blue Parrot back in the day. Thank you so much. Thank you, Miss Revelia. It was Crow's Nest. Harry, you see, you can't even enjoy what we're talking about here because you've never been to the Cayman Islands. But for all of us 3, 4, 5 real Caymanians, we know what we're talking about. I'm just hoping you can't enjoy the joke that's coming from it because you've never been here. Oh, shame on you with your beautiful weather. I mean, the amount of corruption and incompetence across TCI government was incredible. I mean, the former premier has literally been convicted of corruption charges and jailed. You're quite right. I don't think they'll ever will recover from that reputation. I don't see that happening anywhere else unless they openly operate like TCI or direct contradiction to explicit red lines set by London. No, it's not gonna happen again. I can tell you that much. No, the amount of beating that we would give our locals for that, let me tell you something, it'll be a different generation of people coming here in Cayman if that was to happen here. Oh God, I think you'll see a different side of Caymanians. Alfred Reed, Barbadri in Spain, they have siestas. Water, all businesses shut down for like 2 or 3 hours. And when they open back up, they close anywhere between 7 and 10 at night. Why can't we have that here? It's a suggestion, and I think it's something that is worth exploring, even if it's as a pilot. I think it's something worth exploring. Like I said, there's more plans for residential properties to possibly come in Georgetown Center. And I'm quite sure those people are going to want to be entertained. Why not do it where it's not only at the resort or the complex that you're residing, but there are other locations in town that you can think. There could be different cuisine. Of course, we want to showcase our very own Caymanian cooking, but you still have different cuisine that you can enjoy and just go in and just have a good time. Denver says, bet none of you went to Blue Horizon in West Bay or Apollo 11 in Northside. Not me. I was too young, I think. I was too young, but I'm quite sure there are persons here who could relate to that. my days go back to 19 hole. I was still, yeah, Galleon Beach was already done, but I enjoyed a couple nights at Royal Palms. That's just my age group, but I'm quite sure there are people, whether or not they want to admit it, that are probably here that could actually go back to those days. Hello, everybody. Melita's in the house. How you doing? Happy Friday, Miss Melita. Andrew says parking is the issue though in Georgetown. 1G2 Hotel bought the land by Anderson Square and turned it into an extra parking lot. Yeah, I'm seeing that. And they're still hungry for more. So yeah, let's see they want to spread their wings even more. Where? Not water. Okay, you had a typo there, you brute. That's what you get. Romelia says, from they blocked off Cardinal Avenue, business closed down. The plan was to divert business to elsewhere. I think at the end of the day, Miss Romelia, in all fairness and honesty, the pedestrianizing certain parts of Georgetown was hoping that we would have cafes, that we would have and generate other businesses as well, that you wouldn't have to worry about cars. And then you could take your grandchildren out there, or I could take my little niece and my nephew and still grab a bite to eat with maybe some music artisans there, similar to what they create for Heroes Day and for the other Heritage Month festivities. That's kind of what they were looking for by pedestrianizing out there. But for whatever reason, and of course, for the businesses that are already established there, it would be up to them whether or not they want to extend their opening hours. But right now, if it is not nationally talked about, if there's nothing happening per se, the norm will continue to be the norm unless somebody decides to break it and start a new normal. But it's going to go through its teething phase like anything else. But that was the whole reason for that, to pedestrianize it, hoping that it would have brought more foot traffic in there and create an environment where you could have curbside cafes, restaurants that you could have dining outside as well, I guess, looking at other businesses that could possibly open up. Remember where Craft Market used to be back in the day? Let's say if that was converted back to like a nice little cafe that serves stuff and you have music and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. Remember above English Shop, there was a Chinese restaurant. There used to be a club and whatever. Oh my God, I just timelined myself saying English Shop. They used to have a good happy hour and there used to be a club up there too, I think. And look at the people that used to bring. Remember the one by Presbyterian Church? That restaurant there used to have a club in the night too, but that don't open up anymore. There used to be life on certain parts of Georgetown. So I don't know, Miss Romelia, but that was the plan. That was what was envisaged. Old Glass House can be turned into a parking facility and earning revenue for government with events in Georgetown. That's an idea as well. Romelia said, I believe that road needs to open up and a local restaurant or two with local dishes in the area. Then it would defeat the purpose. It would defeat the purpose of really being able, you can't see now, Miss Romelia, the cars is flipping off the roads and hanging in trees and all that sort of stuff. Can you imagine what would happen just sitting out there on a sidewalk with what all of these cars are doing? I think if we get the businesses in there and it's all pedestrianized, the vision will actually make sense. Yeah, but they can't behave themselves on a road right now that is made for them, that they're running off the road and turning up and spinning over and going over medians. Oh God, no. Aliana was saying, what was that restaurant across from Kirk Super? Almond Tree. That had like peppers, like smell every time you. Yeah, there was a tree that was crossed there, that was called Almond Tree Restaurant across from. Delworks was where? Delworks? Yeah, because Beatman's is at Compass. Delworks gas station. That was called Almond Tree Restaurant. Back in the day, there was a pungent smell, but I understand there was a tree somewhere in that area that, Wow, Aliano. You gone way back. Romelia is saying they need to investigated a few or past MP who was in power as well. You mean tap into what their power, what they envisioned? I'm not so sure. Or ask them what they vision. I don't know. I don't know where you're going with that. But I know from what's in the public's domain, that's the whole idea of pedestrianizing out there to get more foot traffic and lessen the risk, especially on those. You see, when you label these things on high tourist days, it really kind of ostracizes your locals. So I think we need to rechange DAT. DOT. Yeah. You really need to probably look at rebranding your stuff to be a little bit more inclusive in the future. And I know you're marketing externally, but I think a lot of it, your core people are your locals and residents alike. Yeah, I think the messaging and the marketing needs to be a little bit more inclusive. And that's probably why we're thinking, oh, it's only for tourists to enjoy. You may say, well, Jesus, why would you be so narrow? No, your messaging. I think we need to look at that. It wasn't until I saw that it made a sense, that it's making sense. And Miss Romelia really said here brought back some presentation that I can remember. But it's in the public's domain what was envisaged for that. But I think if we start labeling these things, there's more inclusive and not just for high tourist days. Because what happens when the tourist ships are not in? It's like we go dead. Yeah, life still goes on because you have those stay over tourists. I think we need to change up our wording just a little bit so it's more inclusive. Lord, I'm so late. I remember those places, you know. Any chance of replication of 1 or 2 for the old school? You very late. Let me tell you, we went way back from Kontiki days. We went way back, Miss Melita. Rocket Club, Rockets, you name it. We went all the way there. Apollo 11. Yep. Harry says, I think the most that will be happening is with financial openness law and UK wants. Harry, I thank you for trying to keep us in line, but you realize on Friday, we're just a little bit more happy on this side of the world. But yes, you bring us back to always educating us, and I'm including you, but I'm not ignoring you. And thank you for just bringing us back to reality. But this is not by any means ignoring you. And I thank you for bringing me back in, but I hope that you can understand where I have to switch gears because we're being very nostalgic with what everything Cayman. That's the trajectory that the conversation has taken right now. But you're quite right. And I'm quite sure for those who are following along and enjoying your input, and I love your contribution, but I can understand why you are on that road because you've never been here. And that's why you got to make it here. And leave that yucky weather you got there in the UK. Denver says, the siestas is a Spanish tradition, but could work. Make sure. Oh, Miss Melita, you're in the industry. We're looking at other ways of entertainment for here in the Cayman Islands, and you know that you entertain or incorporate locals and not just labeled for tourists as well, but it is embracing of even locals, residents alike. Yeah, what's your take on that? Romelia says, Apollo was once ran by my late favorite uncle, Elijah McLaughlin. Oh, really? Oh, wow. There we got some history there. Didn't know that, Romelia. It's not my fault you guys built a country for millionaires, and unfortunately, at least I'm not a million. You don't have to be a millionaire to come here, though. So stop it right now. Maybe a holiday one day. I'll go to Little Cayman and make the swap official. Let me know. I'll make them stop you on arrival. You can visit all 3 islands and just tell us which one is your favorite. I'm quite sure. If it's your first time ever, I think you need to experience all 3 because they all have their unique characteristics. And I think you would just love all 3 of them. But if really laid back is what you're looking for, between Cayman Brac and Little Cayman for sure will be where you would love. Melita is saying, really? I haven't seen the Anderson Square area in about a month, you know. Oh, really? Oh, wow. Well, you need to take a walk then or drive something. Yeah. Obviously, it didn't work. No. Well, not yet. And I'd given up because they were still working on it the other day, Miss Robelia. Obviously, no, not yet. But they were still working on it the other day because remember they had a lien close. So I don't think it's done, to be honest. Wake Up Cayman says, don't feel bad. Here in the UK, the high street is closed and 6 p.m. as big as the UK is. If you want to shop, some supermarket sells clothes and shoes, etc. These people head to family. Okay, understood. Again, it's just a matter of choice. It's a matter of choice. Denver says, no, they blocked it off as part of the vitalization plan. There are still plans in the works to add more businesses there. See, thank you for telling us that. Romelia says, yep, Glass House needs to go. She's advocating for it to be demolished or repurposed. Which one? To go meaning knocked down? Melita says, the tree house. Which one was that one? Let me tell. Yep, almond tree. Okay, good. That's, yeah, you were confirming that it was almond tree across from Delwerts. Harry says, I'm getting about none of these local references. I'm going to start talking about Raymond's store and Rubber's fish and chips. Guess what? We're not going to be able to relate to you because unless you were there, we would have no clue. But this is where you learn, Harry. This is where you learn about Cayman. By the time you actually get here, you would be able to call out some points and place of references that people would think that you're real local. So look, listen, and learn. Aliano says the whole pedestrian push of Georgetown need that electric tram people mover. Yeah, and they started doing the hop on, hop off thing, and that, for whatever reason, didn't continue. Denver says DOT needs to stop spending millions of dollars overseas trying to bring in millionaire tourism. Oh my God, see, you could just get Harry's antennas up now. Melita says Almond Tree House. Okay, that Almond Tree House was the restaurant. Okay, Chance, what are you doing? Andrew is saying, bring back commerce, entertainment, and shopping to Georgetown revitalization. Flowers Group Development and their brasserie restaurant, new building across from CNB Bank. Tourists from cruise ships can walk to the area to get cheap shuttle service. And I think you were going to say something else. Waking Up Cayman Islands, even London shuts down at 6 during the week, but buzz on the weekend in the night for nightlife. Interesting. Romelia, we need buses back like skating ring as well. Yeah, because the only way right now is King's, right? King Sports Center is the only skating ring that we have right now. Remember Shara Reynolds back in the day? Yes, yes, McLaughlin rented it from the owner, Mr. Vincent Miller. Boy, I'm learning a lot this evening from you guys. Romelia, welcome. Little Cayman is extremely expensive. Small island development state. He gonna have to be rich when he go there, Romelia. But don't worry, we could break Harry in. Don't worry, he'll get here. Live happy. Sabrina, have you ever been to Owens Island? No, I haven't, but it is beautiful. I've always said that the prettiest shades of blue that I have ever seen in the Caribbean is in Little Cayman. But to say have ever been on it, no. And I will never. It is picturesque. It is beautiful. But live happy, no, I have never been on Owens Island. But I've been to Little Cayman. And I'm for a moment, because I have a thing with water. For a moment, I just stood there and like I could not stop taking it in and saying how blessed we are to be able to live in a place like this here in the Cayman Islands. And I just got taken away. It's beautiful. TD, I'm on a staycation, literally. Oh, Lord, well, thank you for sharing your staycation with us. I'm online, learn local. That's right. That's right. That's how you're going to do it. The people agree with me about the millionaires. See what I tell you? See what I tell you? You guys got to pull out Harry now. Oh, my God. Well, it's 7:00 and I don't want to cut into anybody else's time. CE Bank says, Home, Sweet Island, Cayman Brack, and Little Cayman, and Owen Island is a gem. You must visit it. Oh, yes. That's where Harry wants to trade. So I think when he goes over there, he'll stay right over there, but he thinks he has to be a millionaire to do it. I don't think so. Ladies and gentlemen, it was so good to bring you another episode of Sabrina Speaks right here on this Open Mic Friday, will now be changed to Free Flowing Friday. Thanks to Alfred and Connie Bonnie for the change-up name. Free Flow Friday is what it'll be called from moving forward. Please be safe on the roads. Please have a wonderful weekend. And make sure if you're going to go out, you be responsible. Be safe. And I don't want to be looking on CMR and seeing all sorts of foolishness now this weekend, right? And I'm looking forward for another productive work week starting on Monday as we continue to live, share, and grow, educate, and motivate and inspire each other here in the Cayman Islands. Let me take the last two. The glass house could be turned into a hotel for Caymanians only. God dug it. I hear you to live happy. Romelia says, wanted to take my seniors to Little Cayman, but it was too expensive. Live Happy says, it was fun. I'm happy you enjoyed it. You see what happens when I take you back in time. Congratulations again to Godfrey's Enterprise and their 68th anniversary. And that was the key that opened the door and take us back in time. Until Monday, please be safe. Gave you two. Alfred, one of those is for you. Until Monday, take care. God bless. Good night.
That's a wrap for today's edition of Sabrina Speaks. Thank you for tuning in and for being part of the conversation. Remember, the dialogue doesn't stop here. Stay engaged, stay informed, and most importantly, stay empowered. We'll be back tomorrow at 5 p.m., same time, same place, right here on CMR TV and radio, where your voice matters and your truth is heard. Until then, Cayman, take care of yourself and each other.
That's it for today's edition of Sabrina Speaks, where your voice matters, your story counts, and your truth is always welcome. Join us weekdays from 5 until 6:30 p.m. right here on CMR TV as we dive into the topics that matter most to you. Catch the show live or on demand at cmrtv.com. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram so you never miss a moment. Until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, and always speak your truth.